August 16th, 2022. End of day, Tuesday. Our Father who reserves an inheritance for his people. Joshua chapter 17, verses 7 to 9 says this. The territory of Manasseh extended from Asher to Mikmethath, east of Shechem. The boundary ran southward from there to include the people living at Tappuah. Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah itself, on the boundary of Manasseh, belonged to the Ephraimites. Then the boundary continued south to the Kana ravine. There were towns belonging to Ephraim lying among the towns of Manasseh, but the boundary of Manasseh was the northern side of the ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. Joseph was sold by his brothers to slave traders who took him to Egypt and sold him to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's personal security team. Joseph was falsely accused of trying to assault Potiphar's wife. Joseph was put in prison. While there, he interpreted a dream for a prisoner who was Pharaoh's wine pourer. When the interpretation proved accurate and the wine pourer went back to his job, Joseph asked him to mention him to Pharaoh so that he could get out of prison. After 2 years, Pharaoh himself had a dream, and he called the wise men of Egypt to interpret it. The wise men of Egypt could not interpret it, but the wine pourer remembered Joseph in prison and told Pharaoh about him. Joseph interpreted the dream to be a warning about an upcoming season of plenty, followed by a season of severe famine. Because of his insight, Pharaoh appointed Joseph to be the prime minister of Egypt, and Joseph guided the country through the season of plenty and drought. Egypt became very strong because of the accurate interpretation of Pharaoh's dream. Soon, Joseph reconciled with his brothers who had sold him as a slave, and they, along with their father Jacob, came to Egypt to live because their own homeland was ravaged by drought. They thrived in Egypt and their numbers grew, with each of the brothers having many descendants. The Egyptians became concerned about the growing influence of the sons of Jacob in Egypt, and they enslaved them and used them for their building projects. Under the heavy yoke of Egyptian oppression for 4 centuries, the descendants of Jacob cried out to the God of their fathers, and he heard them, and prepared Moses, and sent him to Egypt to save his people. But the Egyptians were not willing to set the slaves free. The Lord demonstrated his power to the people of Egypt by striking them with plagues of various kinds, and after 10 severe plagues, they relented and released the children of Jacob. And the Lord led them on a long journey back to the land that was promised to their ancestors. When they arrived at the promised land, the territory was divided among the 12 tribes of the sons of Jacob. Among those tribes was, of course, the tribe of Joseph. Joseph, who had been given a wife by Pharaoh, had 2 sons with her, Manasseh and Ephraim. An allocation of land was given to the descendants of Joseph, and that portion was divided into 2 areas. One was for Ephraim, and the other was for the descendants of Manasseh. The passage here is a description of a section of the border that encircled the area of land allotted to the descendants of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the son of Jacob, the son of Isaac, the son of Abraham.